Hello, my name is Jeffrey Harrison. I'm a Jesuit priest at St. John's College. Today is the feast of St. John the Baptist. This is from the Gospel according to John. John was baptizing in the Jordan because there was an abundance of water there, and people came to be baptized, for John had not yet been imprisoned. A dispute arose between the disciples of John and those of Jesus. So they came to John and said, "Rabbi, the one who was with you across the Jordan, to whom you testified, was baptizing, and everyone is coming to him." John answered and said, "No one can receive anything except what has been given from heaven. You yourselves can testify that I said, 'I am not the Christ, but that I was sent before him.' The one who has the bride is the bridegroom. The best man who stands and listens for him rejoices greatly at the bridegroom's voice. So this joy of mine has been made complete. He must increase, I must decrease." The Gospel of the Lord. So as I mentioned, today, June the 24th, is the feast day of the birth of St. John the Baptist. Now, we don't know when St. John was actually born, but the clue comes in the very last line. I must decrease, he must increase. So when they went to set in the early church, the birthdays of Jesus and John the Baptist, they chose the summer solstice for John the Baptist and the winter solstice for Jesus. Why? The summer solstice is the longest day of the year, which we have just celebrated. After that day, the amount of light in the northern hemisphere decreases. Not so much as you'd notice day by day, but small amounts, till eventually we come to the winter solstice at Christmas time. And that's the moment when the amount of light in the northern hemisphere begins to increase. And so these natural phenomena were chosen to mirror this idea that John the Baptist was only pointing towards Jesus. As he said, "I must decrease." And so from his birth, the light begins to decrease. And Jesus must increase. So from his birth, the light begins to increase. So what does that say for us? Well, it says I have to be careful about my faith. Yes, I believe in Jesus. I want to be like Jesus, but I am not Jesus. And once I start to act like I have the way, the truth, and the life, instead of following the way, the truth, and the life, then I get into trouble. You may remember a few years back, it was quite common, especially for young people, to have these wristbands that said WWJD, what would Jesus do? It seemed to be a passing fad. You don't see that so much anymore. But I think the question should remain with us always as I approach just even the ordinary things of my daily life. What would Jesus do? How would Jesus bring love into this situation? How would Jesus increase the light? How can I decrease my own selfish motives, my own me-first attitude, and increase Jesus in my life and thus in the life of others? And so like John the Baptist, we must decrease and Jesus must increase through us.